I'd like to demonstrate a one-arm suspension trainer power row today. Now, a suspension trainer can be anything from, I have a RIP 60 here. You can also use a TRX. There's a whole bunch of different models out there. Basically anything that is a rope with a handle and is securely anchored to a higher point is going to work. The one-arm power row is a very challenging long range of motion exercise to work all the muscles of your back as well as your biceps and your grip. So very good exercise. I will also show you some regressions if it's still too challenging for you so that you can build up to it. Now what we want to do for the one-arm power row is get in a position where you can stretch out. I'm holding the handle with one hand and I'm going to stretch out. Let me shorten this. With good posture, chest up, shoulders back. I'm going to take a pretty wide stance, about twice as what I would normally take, twice as wide. I'm going to stretch back, keeping good posture. Then I'm going to let my torso rotate so that the arm is almost to my side. Not completely, I'm not coming all the way here, but it's almost to my side. My hand that I'm not using, I'm going to reach out so that I'm almost at full wingspan, but not quite. I'm going to take this arm, pulling with the arm on the handle, I'm going to row myself upward, and as I rotate, I'm going to go up and touch the rope. And I'm going to come back. What this is doing by rotating my torso, I'm working my back through a very long range of motion. Not only am I pulling myself this way, but I'm also using the muscles of the upper back to rotate my body. And the arm is just a visual aid to make sure you're doing that. Try and keep your arm pointing directly out from the side of your shoulder and not reaching forward, because that's not what we're working on. The arm is supposed to show you that you're actually rotating your body. Now, the farther forward your feet are here, the more resistance you're going to have. So if this feels really challenging, walk your feet back and you'll notice it's quite a bit less resistance. Be sure this shoulder stays down and back, because as you get tired, it may want to ride up so that you're using the muscles of the shoulder and not the muscles of the back. You're always driving your elbow towards your hip while keeping your shoulder blade down and back. And that's going to give you the most benefit from this exercise. Now, if that's too challenging, because it's a very challenging exercise, go ahead and shift to a one-arm row. With a one-arm row, you're going to keep your hips perpendicular to the rope. So my hips are always facing the rope, as well as my chest and shoulders. The hand you're not using is going to be on your hip. You're going to stretch back and just simply row straight up by pulling your elbow towards your hip. You're doing the exact same motion without the rotation, basically. So keep your shoulder down and back. Make sure you're driving your elbow towards your hip, not up towards your neck or towards your ribs. Now, if that is too hard, you can take two handles here and pull both arms simultaneously with a regular two-handed row. This one, you want to narrow up your stance so that your balance is controlled more by your upper body. It's going to make it a little more challenging. But obviously doing it this way is going to allow you to use both arms to lift the same resistance, making the exercise quite a bit easier. So if the one-arm row or the one-arm power row are both too difficult, go ahead and switch to the two-arm row and work your way up until you can leave one of the handles behind and go to the one-arm row. From there, progress to the power row. All these are great exercises, and by utilizing your body weight, you're going to be able to improve your core strength and coordination as well, and that'll translate over to more functional ability in regular life. A quick note, while you're hanging there, be careful not to use your legs and thrust your hips up. It's something a lot of people do, sometimes it's called kipping. When you're getting tired, is rather than using the muscles of your back and arm, you thrust your hips up. That's not going to have the same benefit. You're going to be working your legs and your hips, and your back is going to miss out on all of the work we're trying to get it. So stay strict, keep your hips down and back with good posture, and pull that elbow down towards that hip.